info by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome into the WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak. Time now for the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you so much to our stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. In my studio today is Wallace Dandridge. He's returning from Sidcore Engraving. Their services, they put pretty much any personalization you want on just a variety of materials. How are you today, Mr. Dandridge?
I am doing great, sir. Good seeing you again.
So good to see you again, and it's good to have you back in the studio. Last time we talked, we learned about a bit of your mission. Now, I want to get into all the process of your engraving business, but just to remind people out there, your main goal for the Sidcore Engraving business, tell us about this.
Well, my objective, I am a disabled veteran, so I understand the struggle. And I am in the process of building my business so that I can hire as many veterans as I can as the business grows to instill something in veterans that they naturally have, but it's a struggle when you can't find a job, you're on the street, you're homeless. And I want to do what I can to change that.
It's such an interesting time in a workforce, and people that might struggle with random social interactions. It's going to be hard for them in certain workplaces. So Mr. Wallace Dandridge with Sidcore Engraving looks to employ these veterans. It's such a great mission. Now, all the great benefits that will come to these veterans, I'd love to talk about those. But you got something going that's trying to help out just a little bit. You got a GoFundMe set up. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so under duress, and I've always struggled myself asking for help, but it was brought to my attention, you should set up a GoFundMe page, because obviously you can't hire anybody till you get the business out of your home. So I set up helpingusveterans.com, and you can go out there and donate, and it would be greatly appreciated. None of the money comes to me. It goes into an account so I can eventually get a building and get someone hired.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate, and I totally appreciate. I have a hard time asking people for help, but when I hear about your mission, your business, money couldn't be better used anywhere else. It's a GoFundMe. It's titled "Helping Us Veterans Easy," and you can find that at GoFundMe. And you said none of it's going to you, of course. It's all going back into the business right now. What are you operating out of your garage?
I'm operating out of my basement.
Okay.
And I just recently had to order another machine, so I'm getting kind of desperate to get it out of my house.
It's getting tight,
just to try to keep up.
I'm sure,
as much as I can. Yeah.
It's I'm sure with all the heavy equipment that you must be using for this, you got to have a designated space for that. So it'll be going towards that, and also to employing the veterans that hope to learn a new trade here.
Absolutely, it would be an uphill battle for just anybody. But I'm willing to invest that kind of time and help a veteran get on his feet. I am more than willing to do that.
It's amazing how you've merged something that you found to be a passion of yours in engraving, and your past in terms of being a veteran, and now you've really merged them together perfectly. Talk to me a little bit about the process of engraving things, and will it be easy for, not easy, of course, but you are prepared to teach these veterans the ways of engraving?
Yeah. Now, a lot of times, and I know we don't have a lot of time, so I make it as quick as possible. When you want something engraved, people don't understand the process. There's two different softwares you have to learn how to use. There's Illustrator and there's Lightburn. And both of those softwares are imperative to a quality product. In order for it, if I engrave it on wood, if I put a business name on a large slab of wood, if it's not perfect, I can see it. A customer won't. But my style is this, and I live by it. If I'm not happy, you're not going to be. And if you can't see it, doesn't make it right.
That's I remember you mentioned that last time, that even the person getting the product might not see it because it's so perfect, these engravings, but you always see it, and perfect is your standard. So everyone,
I can see I can see a flaw, and it's not going to be in your hands.
That's great to hear. As a consumer, that's what you want to hear right there. Now, you mentioned just a little bit about the inner workings of engraving. There's two different systems to kind of work your way around.
Mhm.
Technical side of this. There's maybe even a coding side of this. So it's not just some physical labor that veterans hope to learn here in the future. It's real technical stuff.
It's very deep, in depth, and I will tell you this. I didn't know it either, but I spent countless hours up to here in the spring here in the Robins Chirp to learn. And if it's a passion, you have to learn how to do the job that you want to do in order to provide a quality product. So again, it'll be an uphill battle, but if you are really wanting to get on your feet, I am there for you.
Sure. I think your passion for engraving is going to make the education side of things a little bit easier. I think it's just going to be easier to take in information from you. I think it sounds great. Tell us just a little bit more about Sidcore engraving in terms of have you gotten anything cool to make recently, or what's some of your title pieces that you like to get out to people?
Yeah. So recently I got a stack of cutting boards that a lady wants me to engrave the family name in the upper left-hand corner of different family members. So I've got things like that. People are always wanting engraved glasses. Weddings come up, they want the shot glasses with him and hers or whatever you want on it, things like that. So I'm busy pretty much all the time, keeping things moving, and right now it's just me, so it can get hairy, but I'm very appreciative of the work. Don't get me wrong, because eventually again I'll get it out of the home and I can say, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this and I'm going to pay you well.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest parts right there, and it's employment. And these guys are going to, of course, learn skills that progress them through life, but also they can make a paycheck while doing it. That sounds really great. And you just mentioned right there, cutting boards is a great idea, and glass. You can do glass every single time.
I do glass, plastic, you name it. And people ask for things that I haven't even heard of, but if I can envision it 99.9% of the time, I can do it. I can do it.
So cool. I felt like you'd be pigeonholed into what you could engrave, but there's really no limit. You said 99.9%. That's a pretty good rate right there. For people listening out there that want to use the Wallace Standard Sidcore engraving services, let's talk a little bit about your website and how to contact you.
Okay. I can be reached at info@sidcoreengraving.com. I can be reached at 217-638-9159. And here's another big one. The first weekend of December, I will be offering free shipping on sidcoreengraving.com. And when you go to sidcoreengraving.com, it will change to Sidcore Laser Engraving. I have two domains, so it goes to the same website. And I'll be offering free shipping, which will be huge. And there's a lot of outdoor products on that website.
Okay, awesome. A couple of things to hit right there. Big announcement for the free shipping the first week of December for all the Halloween gifts. People are starting to think right now, Christmas gifts that people are starting to think of right now. That's awesome. And another thing, great thing you pointed out right there, that when you are going to search up these types of things, it can be confusing. I typed in Sidcore engraving. Why am I on Sidcore laser engraving? Same place.
Same place.
All right.
Exact same place. I just made it shorter to make it a little bit easier for people to get there, but same place.
All right. So Sidcore engraving, and you can just type that into your Google search bar and it'll take you where you need to go. And this is awesome. We're sitting down with Wallace Standards right now of Sidcore engraving services. And do not forget, first week of December, they're free shipping. That's going to be awesome. Are you expecting an influx in orders?
Well, I'm praying that I get an influx. Again, the money will go into an account so I can get a building. And so,
that is the main goal here.
That is the goal.
Getting out of your home, expanding the business, and the final goal of employing some veterans. And one more time here before we take our little break, you got something to help out with the move into a new building and to employ some people. Tell us about your GoFundMe one more time.
Oh, yes. The GoFundMe page is helpingusveterans.com. You can go there, and it's attached to PayPal, so it's extremely safe.
Sure.
So you can donate $1, 50 cents, whatever you choose.
Good point to know right there. It is a safe, secure location
very
for money
much.
to travel through. It's
Very much.
very credited right there. So yeah, go to the Helping Us Veterans on GoFundMe.com to help Wallace Dandridge out with this great mission he's got for his Sidcore engraving business, trying to employ some disabled veterans to help them learn a new skill and move along in life. We're going to be back here with Wallace Dandridge, the owner of Sidcore Engraving, just after the break here. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak. You are listening to the WTIM Morning Show here on the WTIM, your information station. Don't go anywhere.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans lower, wheat trading higher. December corn up 3 1/4, 473 1/4. March corn up 3 3/4, 492 3/4. May corn 503 3/4, up 3 3/4. January beans down 8, 1369 1/4. March beans down 7 1/4, 1385 3/4. May beans 1398 down 6 3/4. December wheat 560 3/4, up 5 3/4. March wheat up 6 1/4, 589. December bean meal 461.20, up $2. December bean oil 53.46, down 73 cents. Livestock market, January feeders 227.22, down $1.10. December live cattle down a dime, 174.90. December lean hogs 68.32, up 15 cents. Energy market, January crude oil 74.16, down 361. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio.
Fall means being active to attend your favorite festivals and bonfires. Let Taylorville Care Center help you get back into doing what you want, like attending a local fall festival. Whether you've been in the hospital or just need a little extra help to get back doing the things you used to do, recover and return home with Taylorville Care Center's therapy program. Great medical care with private rooms. Family and friends can come by to encourage your recovery. For Taylorville Care Center's therapy program, call 824-9636, 824-9636, caring for the community for over 50 years.
Bob Ridings Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Ford and Pena hope you'll join them in giving thanks for friends, family, and other blessings. Thanksgiving is a festive holiday. Enjoy it, but don't forget the real meaning of the day. Give thanks. The best Thanksgiving holiday wishes are from Bob Ridings Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Ford and Pena. America is still the best place on earth. Lily Signs, 2227 West Spresser in Taylorville, says we are lucky to be here. They hope you will join them in giving thanks. Lily Signs extends best wishes for a happy Thanksgiving.
Now's the time to join the Taylorville Estates Assisted Living family and ignore Old Man Winter. Get your name on the waiting list. Book a tour by clicking the Taylorville Estates Assisted Living icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and stop shoveling snow.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak. Today we're sitting down with Wallace Dandridge, owner of Sidcore Engraving. Let's thank our sponsors that make this show possible: People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. For that first half, we talked about Sidcore Engraving. They're trying to expand and maybe even hire a couple of disabled veterans because Wallace Dandridge is a disabled veteran. Mr. Dandridge, I thank you for your service. I forgot to say that this time. Absolutely. And what a great business and a business plan you got for this. And you got a GoFundMe out there to help out with some of the costs of moving out into a new business, trying to expand. That GoFundMe is called Helping Us Veterans and .com. You can find that at GoFundMe. Mr. Dandridge, I want to talk a little bit more about the engraving process here. You talked about cutting boards, you talked about glass, and there's definitely different processes for each one of these. So you've even mentioned denim once to me. You can engrave denim. So talk to me a little bit about, I bring you a wooden cutting board. What do you do next? I want it engraved.
Okay. Great question. I will, just like we're talking now, I'll ask you specific questions. What logo do you want? Do you want a name? And a lot of times people will send me a picture, like someone sent me a picture of a axe looking thing. Sure. And so I put that into the software. I recreate it to make sure all the lines and the curves are straight. And then what material you want it on, depending on the material, because obviously you can't do a lot of tests on gold and things of that nature.
Right.
But wood, I have plenty of wood and glass laying around. I'll run that program 2 or 3 times, send you photos of it, see if you like it. I just did a job for a lady last night. She wanted her business on a cup, did it, sent her pictures. She was absolutely beside herself. So I always run samples because, as we all know, once you engrave something, there is no undoing it.
Right.
It has to be right. So I will do probably 2 to 3 samples to make sure it's right. And a lot of people don't understand that. They will say, well, all I want is a rover on it. Well, that's quite simple. The name of their dog
Okay,
or
sure.
something like that on a dog dish. People want all kinds of things. Well, depending on what font you want it in, depending on the size, things like that. Because I don't want to give you your dog bowl back and you say that's not what I wanted. So that's the reason I'm so in tune with getting to know the person that wants something done, getting to know a little bit about you, to try to figure out how you feel about what you want.
Sure.
Kind of like being an attorney, but I'm not an attorney.
I get it. That right there is something you won't find when you go to an engraving.com of any other kind. That back and forth conversation about what they actually want before you send them, 4 or 5 products of what you're about to do. That's huge right there. And I'm sure they really appreciate that. That's something you can expect when you want something with Sidcore engraving. You do that with every customer. You talk.
I do that with every customer because you get a lot of insight. When a lady reached out to me with a couple of steel engineering ink pens, I believe, because her grandson was graduating from engineering school. So that information right there was very critical and important because that meant a lot to her to present that to her grandson.
Sure.
So things like that when you know that, it just gives you something more to work with.
Sure.
But nobody's taken for granted ever.
That's amazing to hear. And right there, you mentioned that's a big moment in someone's life. But
yes.
Even for a dog bowl, the font, right? That could be off if you didn't have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Do you create renderings of what it would look like, or do you just kind of have the conversation? What font would you like? Do you like this font, or do you even have a hypothetical picture of what it would look like?
Oh, another good question. Yes, in the Lightburn software, when I have everything created, I can put different variations stacked on top of each other, side by side or whatever, and I can take a snip of that and send it to you, and you can choose. You may not like either one of them. Then I'll keep, because I have, oh my gosh, 10,000 different fonts from every language. So you can choose from anything I have, and then again, once you pick one, I will put it on a piece of sample to make sure the size is right. I do everything in millimeters, so you can't get any closer than that for size.
Sure.
So when you say go for it, you're gonna love the work.
Sure. Yeah.
So very particular. I'm
Sure.
very particular.
And that's exactly what you need for this line of work. We're running close to the end here. This thing has flown by on me. I want to hit on 2 more things, but real quick, you mentioned right there different languages. That's part of your world as well. That's in your orbit. You can do a different language if you needed to.
Absolutely. Cool. I will accommodate any kind of language, and if that language for some reason is one of the really, really rare languages, if I can find it, I can engrave it. All I have to do is be able to find it.
Yeah, that's the name of your game here. If you can find it, and if your system allows for it, you'll do it for them. So
and if they have it themselves, I can recreate it and fix it from what they send me and make it just like they want it, even better than what they sent me most of the time.
Amazing.
Well, all of the time, to be honest with you.
He's being honest, folks. He's being honest. It's going to show. It's going to get back to you better than when you sent it to him, of course. We're sitting down with Wallace Dandridge today. He owns Sidcore Engraving. We're so close to the end here. I'm just going to do it right here, Mr. Dandridge. There is a GoFundMe set up for the business. He's trying to employ disabled veterans and move out of his home and get the engraving business fully started. Find his GoFundMe at helpingusveterans.com. And we thank you, Mr. Wallace Dandridge, for coming in today.
Thank you for having me back. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's Wallace Dandridge, owner of Sidcore Engraving, and my name's Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH